Hi guys, welcome back to Sunday League to Champions League. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have our first game of the new season in the Premier League away at my personal favourites, Manchester City. We have had a European qualifier already. We've got a second leg to play against Maccabi Netanya. You can just see in the top right. We won the first leg by 4 goals to 0. I was waiting to see who we drew in that. I was thinking about bringing that European game to you, but we'll have a bit of a transfer roundup so far, followed by this game against Manchester City. In terms of our pre-season, we've had quite a good one for the most part. We set it up that we were on a pre-season tour in Holland, so we ended up having a game every 2 days. And towards the end of that period, we did struggle a little bit, just for a little bit of form. So we failed to win in 3 of our friendlies toward the end of that run, but we did get a good win over Ajax in the middle of it, amongst one or two other good results as well. And that 4-0 win over Maccabi Netanya was also a really positive spin for us, and it means that going into the second leg we can relatively relax. We did have a few issues with the squad in relation to being able to pick one for the European guidelines, of course. We don't have any homegrown club players, so it was quite difficult to admit one or two players, but only two of them got up in arms a little bit about it, so we weren't too bad. We kind of got away with that. In relation of the transfer window, though, we have been reasonably busy. We're not looking at bringing anyone else in at the moment. We seem to have a good balance to the squad, but it has been quite a testing one. So if we just go back here, we had a big come in from West Ham for Samuel Illing. I didn't really want to let him go, but West Ham came in with the offer, £34 million, potentially raising to £44.5 million for the 27-year-old. And he had a good season for us last time out. He's worth a lot more than that now he's at West Ham anyway. But to be quite honest, I think it'll work out quite well for us, and I'm reasonably happy with the terms of that deal. In relation to players in, we've also been quite busy. We confirmed the signing of Michael Swiderski for £1.8 million from Jagiellonia. Lucian Toma from Faro Constanta for £5 million, so the Polish and Romanian internationals, both considered to be very good young players, and hopefully they can certainly develop into that. Swiderski unfortunately was injured not long after he arrived at the club, and he's got a broken ankle, so he will be out for a little while. But he's only 19 years of age, Polish senior international, and he has got some very good attributes towards him, so hopefully he will do a job for us in that central midfield. Lucian Toma, the Romanian international, again just the one cap, but again only 19 years of age. We signed him for very cheap. I mean, his valuation skyrocketed 10 times the amount that we paid for him. And again, a player that will certainly develop well. He's 6'2" as well. I do like a big man in the central midfield position, so hopefully he will do that role very well for us. Timo Falkenberg's another one. Again, we can make good profit on him. Austrian, not quite an international just yet, but he will be. There's no doubt in my mind. He can play out wide or up front. Very pacey. Good crossing ability as well. He is likely going to be playing out wide for us when he does play. Really determined character. Very exciting type player with plenty of flair in his game. Again, 3.3 million from Sturm Graz in Austria. Really positive signing for us. And a player we did look at last season, but obviously we couldn't quite convince him to join us because we weren't in the Premier League, was Veselin Milivojevic. Um, Serbian centre back, 23 years of age, 14 international caps already. We signed him for £15.5 million from Liverpool. Really good defensive attributes, really solid physicals, 6'1". He is going to be a big option for us at centre back this season. He actually had a loan deal at Ajax where he played most of the campaign for them, and the season before he has had Premier League experience playing 15 games in all about 15-20 games in all competitions for Liverpool. So I think again really positive signing for us, and he has got that experience. And then when July hit, we started getting a little bit busier for outgoings. David Strelec, who he was a bit hit and miss. He was quite frustrating for me at times. Um, and at 29, I thought we need someone who's going to be a little bit more consistent. He worked very hard and he did a good job for us in the Championship, but we decided to let him go. His valuation has actually gone up, but we sold him for £22.5 million to Levante. Brendan Harrison was another one. He actually wanted a new contract, but he wanted quadruple the wage that he was already on. So I said, not a chance. We'll let you go. We got £10 million for him. He was in the last year of his contract, so we couldn't ask for an awful lot. Again, another good piece of business, in my opinion. Ray Berry and Artu Manonen have gone out on loan. And Lorenzo Cazzo has gone to Valencia for £10 million. I think we did well to get that amount of money for him. His valuation hasn't really changed an awful lot. He's a really pacey winger, but I didn't quite see him as a permanent fixture in our plans, so we let him go for the 10 million. In terms of other players in, we managed to get another three players in this side of the transfer window, so we're currently in £10 million profit for this part of this main transfer window. Ibrahima Mendes signed from Celta Vigo. Really happy with this signing. £16 million is worth between double and triple that amount. A natural finisher, reasonably quick, good fitness as well, very good fitness in fact. His work rate will improve over time, determination, and he's an exciting type player with plenty of flair. His technique is excellent as well with a good first touch. I think he'll be a really good option for us up front and really battle it out with Mikel to be that starting centre forward. He's only 20 years of age, 11 caps and 4 goals at international level for Guinea-Bissau. Really, really happy with that signing. £16 million bargain. We then brought in Harvey Barnes. He goes against the kind of player that I like to sign. As you know, I signed a lot of youngsters over the last couple of seasons. But Harvey Barnes, 32 years of age, he's actually had an international cap for England as well. He's worth between 21 and 23 million, so solid valuation if things don't necessarily work out. Probably our best player out wide as well. And we know how good he is. He's had plenty of experience at Leicester over the years in the Premier League. Still quite pacey as well, considering, but his dribbling and crossing ability are excellent. And I really think that he will come good for us. To sign him on a free transfer as well, I thought was an absolute steal. He's averaged between 6 and 9 goals most of the seasons that he's been in the Premier League with Leicester. Hopefully he can do the same for us. And then we found Dan Rhodes at Manchester City, £16 million. He can play at centre back, but I'm going to be using him as a right back, largely because he's not got the height advantage. He's 5'10", quite pacey for a right back as well. Good crossing ability, good defensive ability, but his mental attributes are very, very strong, and I think he will be a very good player for us in a right back. So, in terms of the squad, we have got plenty of cover all over the pitch, to be honest, as you can see. Even up front, Guido Polidoro obviously can play out wide or up front, same as Falkenberg. Vipond we still have. I have tried to sell him, but no one will pay the price that we need for him. Molyneux we're keeping around for now. He's come through the youth academy. Well, I think he's come through the youth academy. I'm not entirely sure. No, he didn't. He actually came through Chelsea's youth academy. Has been out on loan a couple of times at Wimbledon. He's only scored the one goal in 2 seasons, really, in League One. But we'll see how he gets on this season. He might end up being a bit part player along with Miguel Prieto. But we've got options out wide and up front now. Plenty of options in central midfield with the addition of Swiderski and Toma. And then in terms of defensive options, Milivojevic coming in as that solid presence at the back in central defence with Branthwaite. And we've got the extra cover at fullback now as well, with Dan Rhodes having come in. So, without further ado, let's get this game against Manchester City underway. I'm not really sure what to think from it. They did rotate a few players when we beat them 4-0 in the Cup quarter-final last season. But as you can see, the team that they're putting out this time round is extremely strong. So, we've got our work cut out for us, but let's see how we get on. We've got Mourinho in goal, Davis, Levesque, Eisner and Rhodes are at the back, Doyle, Kesgin and Toma in midfield, Polidoro and Abaya out wide with Mikel up front. Obviously with these players having come in on recent transfers, they are still getting used to the squad. Personally, I think Milivojevic and Barnes should be playing today, but we'll see how it goes. They are on the bench, and I think all of the new boys are actually on the bench, apart from Swiderski, who's injured. So let's see how we get on. Mourinho has signed a new contract, as has one or two of the other players as well. So we're looking quite strong for the future at the moment. One or two of them did want release clauses. We've tried to negotiate them out, but for the time being, we've got to just do what we can. Obviously, the target this season is to avoid relegation as well. That's what the board want, and it's what obviously what the fans want as well. Um, it's going to be tough, I think. We're going to have to work very, very hard. Obviously, we've got the distraction of European football as well. So we'll have to just see how we get on, really. And this is a hell of a test to start the campaign as well. Um, Obviously, it worked out for us in the Cup quarter-final last season, but again, like I say, they did rotate one or two players, including their goalkeeper, from what I can remember. We'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, early on here, we've actually had a good amount of possession, which is quite surprising, really, because it's Manchester City. We know how a Manchester City side like to dominate possession, but it's quite even at the moment. And in terms of chance creation, neither side have really committed at the minute. So it's a bit of a strange one, but we'll just have to crack on and see how it develops. Soppy plays it forward into Haaland, looks to switch it, but Dan Rhodes picks it up well. Against his former club, of course, Dan Rhodes, so big opportunity for him, as is Tommy Doyle. But here is Haaland, and that's a brilliant save from Mourinho to keep it at 0-0. Haaland played in by Phil Foden there, and it remains 0-0. Bernardo Silva with an opportunity to deliver here. Mourinho does well to come and claim. And Tommy Doyle, of course, in central midfield, former Manchester City youth product. So another one who has got a point to prove today. Here is Davis. Plays it back into Levesque. Back into Davis again. Azak Kesgin couldn't get onto it. Here's Polidoro, though, looking over the top of Bayer. Couldn't quite win it. And Stroikins has found Haaland, who's in behind again. And Erling Haaland has gone around Mourinho. And Levesque manages to clear. Brilliantly done from Mourinho. Mitchell into Ravella. Tyrick Mitchell again plays it into Haaland, and again Levesque and Mourinho, between the two of them, managing to get the block. At the moment, it's looking like Manchester City are going to break the deadlock soon. We are really struggling to handle them going forward at the minute. Mourinho again, really good goalkeeping from him to make that claim. Still yet to create an awful lot in this first half, and it's looking likely if we can get through to half time, we might just be able to scrape something out of this game. Here's Ravella into Stroikens. Dan Rhodes trying to win the challenge. Phil Foden, that's a lovely pass again. And Haaland picks it up in the channel. Plays it back to Stroikens. And now Bernardo Silva. And it's 1-0 to Manchester City. Bernardo Silva with the finish. And Haaland just keeps breaking through all the time here. His pace and direct running is certainly ruining us. And Phil Foden keeps finding him as well, which is the devastating part of it. And I'm not going to read too much into our front line at the moment. I mean, Polidoro and co, they've not had an awful lot to go at. So obviously their ratings are poor, but if they're not seeing the ball, they're not going to see the goal, are they? So, but possession-wise, 50-50 apparently. We're doing quite well in that manner. We just need to try and develop it a little bit more. Here's Kimmich. Diaz into Bernardo Silva. Again, playing over the top into Soppy. Plays it in, looking for Haaland. Dan Rhodes manages to clear, but Stroikins picks it up and switches it to Soppy, who's in the penalty area, and there is Haaland right in front of goal. It's 2-0 now to Manchester City, and we are going to be struggling here, I think, to even make this look presentable. We're going to have to make some changes. We're not going to be doing anything at the moment, I don't think. Dan Rhodes is on a yellow card. I'm not risking that. AJ Hurwith's going to come on for him. We'll bring Harvey Barnes on for Polidoro. Falkenberg can come on for Abaya. And we'll bring Ibrahima Mendes on for Mikkel. And Milivojevic can come on for Levesque, who is struggling for confidence a little bit in this game. It's difficult. I mean, you look at the quality of this Manchester City side. They continue to win titles. I mean, we're on season number 9 of the save, I think, now. So, and they're still winning titles. I mean, they're still rocking that front line with Bernardo Silva, Haaland, Phil Foden. They've still got all the big men in there. And I am hopeful that we can get a shot on target today, though. That is a good target here. And Tommy Doyle with a corner. Plays it in, Milivojevic with the header. It's gone wide, unfortunately. But at least we've shown a little something here. And we'll just demand a little bit more from the side. And that's played in, looking for Harvey Barnes at the far post. Soppy clears. Davis picks it up. Milivojevic runs into the penalty area here, the centre back. He hasn't got a lot of support. Davis picks it up. Falkenberg at the far post, and it's going to be cleared here. And Stroikens has picked it up, and he's got Haaland and Kimmich ahead of him, and Kimmich is the man that's got it. And there's Stroikens again, and he's put it wide. And apparently it was actually a block from Herworth there. That's how quickly they can break away, you see. Here's Phil Foden. Plays it in looking to the far post. It's cleared away. Harvey Barnes picks it up. Possibly a chance for him to run at the defence. He's not got any support though. Ravella does well to win the challenge. Falkenberg tried to carry on the move. Nothing came of it, unfortunately. I mean, defensively, we've not done too badly. Kimmich with a huge, phenomenal free kick there, just clipping the outside of the post. Defensively, I think we've done okay. The ratings don't say that we have, but players have been getting in the way. They've been blocking, throwing themselves to get in the way of it as well. Kimmich, another free kick wide there. So there's certainly positives to take from this, but going forward, we haven't seen anything from the side. So that is a little bit of a concern. We did really well with it last season. We ended up with a shot on target right at the very end of the match there. But unfortunately, ratings say poor performances all round. Mourinho, very, very good in goal. I mean, if it wasn't for him, Haaland probably would have had a hat-trick today. But things to focus on. I think against the really big clubs, we're going to have to just bite the bullet and hope for the best. Last season in the Cup, we had all the anomalies. We managed to beat City, we beat United. But I think in order to actually beat Arsenal, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United, Tottenham, Newcastle, to beat any of those sides this season, we are really going to have to be on point. It's going to be a tough season, and obviously in the Conference League at the moment, we're playing teams that aren't up to our speed, so they're comfortable games for us. And if we try and play the same way against your Manchester Cities, for example, we're going to struggle. So we've got to find that balance, and we've got to find that right setup. I think tactically, I don't think we're going to change anything. We know it works. I think it's literally going to be a case of getting back up to speed in the Premier League again. But a 2-0 defeat isn't horrific, in my opinion, against City. We showed reasonable signs defensively that we can hold our own. Mourinho in goal had a solid game. So if we can nick 10 wins this season, I think that would probably be enough. And we've got to look at, I mean, the teams I'm looking at for those wins: Burnley, Bournemouth, Watford, Crystal Palace, Norwich, maybe Aston Villa. Those kind of teams, we've got to be competitive against them. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. And I think, to be honest, it could have been a lot worse. So we'll have to see what happens. We're still in the market as well. We're still looking into one or two players, and again, we'll just see what's out there. I mean, there's this youngster here, Hugo Alejo. He's worth practically nothing, £1.6 million, but he's a 2.5 star current ability player, and that's Premier League level. But it says he's potentially Premier Division standard, but I think he could be a good option, and he's cheap. But again, we'd be signing players for the sake of signing players, and that is what we don't want to do. So, in terms of where we're going to come back next, I'm not entirely sure who we're going to draw in the next round of the Conference League. As such, I don't know when the next round is going to be. But I think what I'm planning on doing is I'll get through August, finish the transfer window off, and we'll come back at the start of September probably. And we've got Leicester at home in the Premier League coming up. Potentially a winnable game. They did win on the opening day, but obviously it's early days. So Leicester and Watford, two games that we hopefully could look at winning. You got Villa, Bournemouth, and Southampton there in September. That is a big month for us. If we can get some points on the board there, it'll give us a really good opportunity to really judge where we are. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't know what's happening with Europe either. We'll come back at the start of September, and hopefully we can get some results on the board and see if we can develop a prospective mid-table position. That's what I want from it this season. If we can get up there, it'd be great. But preliminarily, we look to avoid relegation. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.